Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Going X and O. It's been a while. I know there's been some big tournaments, but today we have a fantastic return guest, a two-time GT champion and host of the Crit to Block podcast, Richard Lavery, recent winner of Crucible down in Florida. Richard, how are you, sir?
Doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. I am ready to talk some Empire. I know
Let's do it.
Empire has been kind of I guess rocky plays, ups and downs, peaks and valleys. Um, but it looks like Crucible is about to prove a lot of people wrong. Top table, both Empire,
hmm
very
hmm
different Empire lists. So I'm excited to kind of get your perspective on that. And being a clone guy mostly, I'm kind of curious to get your input on that as well. So let's just kind of get right into your list. I am going to share my screen here. And for the audio listeners, go ahead and read through it real fast. Alrighty, here we go. So we have an Imperial Remnant list with Moff Gideon, who has improvised orders, and the Dark Saber. We have a Shore Trooper unit with the T-21. Is that a super squad?
That is a
Shore
super
Trooper?
squad.
Okay, with Overwatch. And then we have two more Stormtroopers with T-21, Super Squad, and Imperial March. A unit of Imperial Death Troopers with the DLT-19, and the Focus Fire config. Is that just their
Yeah, that's just their config, the
regular
zero
gun? Okay.
cost. Yep.
And then looks like we have two units of Scouts with the T-21, Imperial March, and targeting scopes. And then we have two units of Dark Troopers with the Assault Cannon.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So 9 acts, but you're really 11.
hmm hmm
Take us through your kind of list building process. What kind of made you gravitate towards 9 acts? Because personally, I've been having a hard time even with 10 acts. Now I know this is technically 11.
hmm
And then you played against Austin Miller on the final table, and he had 13.
Yes.
So, what's your thought process in this?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So, kind of like you said earlier, with Empire being quote unquote struggling right now, I really set out to try to find something that was extremely different. Last time you had me on, I was rocking a Cody Lat list. Lats are now popular, can't play that anymore. Um, So we're
And
going
went down in points.
and when diamond points, you know what? So be it. Yeah, no, I wanted something different. So me and Adam from up in the Indie Garrison have been working on this since Rocky Top. Really, this kind of was like a fever dream conversation during the Rocky Top kind of hangout after Saturday, and so we've played through 24 versions of this list, maybe. And this is just the
Mhm.
one that fits for me. So the 9 activations, really 11, is incredibly deceptive, right? So because you have those two Dark Troopers adding to the pool, but they don't count for 2 activations, you get enough pass tokens to guarantee that you go last turn 1, no matter what army you're facing, which is a really,
Mm.
really big deal into the current Force user meta. Because Force users want to go as close to last as humanly possible, right?
Yeah.
For
Mhm.
force push shenanigans and all the other things to keep them safe.
Mhm.
This actively looks and tells you you can't. So against those higher activation lists, you start off with a pass. You go with the Dark Trooper that has a face-up order token from Entourage. You then go into a pass token, assuming you have multiple pass tokens. You go to the bag hoping for another Dark Trooper. Then you go to a pass token. I think you kind of get the idea of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're delaying as long as possible. The other
Mhm.
thing is, there's a few kind of key ideas behind the list. The first one is I'm going to throw a bucket of dice at you turn 1. Can you survive it?
Yeah.
And by a bucket of dice, I mean on average 72 dice turn 1.
Oh
Um,
my god.
if the stars align and we're playing breakthrough, I'm throwing closer to 100 dice turn 1.
Oh,
Once you calculate the aim re-rolls and things of that
yeah.
nature.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, a lot of lists can't take that much firepower. And so I would say on average, some lists are an exception to the rule, but on average, I was taking about 3 activations from opponents turn 1. And when you lose that much firepower turn 1, it throws a lot of people off their game. I mean,
Yeah.
this list can do silly things. Now, granted, I have a ton of critical, and I'm throwing a ton of dice, so I'm really kind of relying on that critical aspect of the game, of the dice variants that we play.
Mhm.
Throwing 12 white dice with critical 2, you're
Mhm.
averaging about 3 crits out of that dice pool,
Okay.
which is pretty good.
Yeah.
You can do some silly things with that. Silly things I did in this tournament included taking out Yoda turn 1 through luminous beings with only 2 stormtrooper shots through heavy cover and backup. That's
Oh
crazy.
my
Now, granted,
gosh.
dice
Wow.
variants, right? Dice
Sure. Yeah.
dice variants absolutely a thing in there. Each shot had 6 crits. Yoda took 3 wounds from each shot. A little high on both those aspects. Um,
Brutal.
but very silly.
Mhm.
Into ATSTs. Those tend to melt when you're throwing tons and tons of crits at them. So
Mhm.
talking about that final game against Austin, I removed 3 activations from the board turn 1 and put half unit damages into another 2 stormtroopers, I think. Maybe one. It's been fuzzy at this point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, the list throws a ton of damage. And kind of the main idea behind that is you're playing Assault turn 1, right? You're
Yep.
putting orders on Gideon, both stormtroopers.
Mhm.
You're delaying drawing the special forces as long as possible with that IO. When you do draw
Mhm.
it, you're throwing out the Death Troopers because whatever.
Yeah.
The second the Death Troopers go out, you want to stop going to that bag and then go with the Stormtroopers because you want the Scouts to go last. The
Yeah.
Stormtroopers suffer a wound for Ruthless because they have a face of order.
Mhm.
They go speed 2, speed 3 because of Imperial March,
Yep.
and then a range 3 shot, which can
Yep.
hit approximately range 5 from your board edge.
Mhm.
5 plus a little bit.
Mhm.
Catches a lot of people off guard where they
Jeez.
think, oh, I'm nice and safe behind line of sight blocking. And the reality is there's not a lot of places you can hide from this list.
Yeah. Yeah. My
Um,
God.
Follow it up later in the turn when the scouts do end up deploying, right? They have their scout 3 move, they have
Mhm.
Imperial March, scout's a move action, and so you
Mhm.
get a move 3 after that, and
Yep.
then you're throwing 8 black, 4 white, critical 2 with an aim, with targeting scopes, and sharpshooter 1.
Yep.
You're deleting a unit most of the
Yep.
time, then times 2 because you have 2 of those.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. This is very similar to a list that I played against in Dallas.
mm,
Thomas Trotman played
okay,
a list very similar to this.
very nice.
I think he had maybe one more Dark Trooper in there and not as many super
Mhm.
squads. Um, but the thing for me, I think I learned particularly is that this list is not about the Dark Troopers.
No.
The Dark Troopers are arguably, you know, not worthless, but they're not the ones doing the damage. They're the ones giving you quote unquote 4 pass tokens
Yes.
because you're just like move dodge, and it's like
Mhm.
okay, they're and then you get all your other pass tokens because you're only technically 9 acts.
Now, before we get too down the Dark Troopers not being really important in this list, I do want to point out one critical part with the Dark Troopers
Mm,
is the ability to bait and switch opponents is incredible with Dark Troopers.
yeah, very true.
Intercept signals. You can deploy both of your tokens on one side of the board, then turn to drop it onto the other side where an opponent isn't expecting. Then you have to remove a Duggan Dark Trooper with an intercept signal off the point. Have fun with that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Sweep and clear, the nightmare for opponents.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
So,
that's a good point. I guess before we go any
mhm.
further, we should probably go into the command cards that you have.
Oh sure, absolutely.
Um,
Let's talk about it.
so the 2/1 pips die at my hand in
Hmm.
ambush. The 2 pips are pinned down, and you have something I want.
Hmm.
And then 3 pips are moment of consideration, assault, and standby. You've kind of already mentioned that you play assault turn 1, obviously because
Yes.
you want to give it on Moth, and then the 2 stormtrooper or the 2 scouts.
Nope.
No, no,
Two
no, the 2
stormtroopers because
stormtroopers
you need
with Imperial
ruthless.
March. Yep, that's right. Um, and then I guess turn 2 is kind of variance what
It's up
you're
in the air.
saying.
Hmm.
Yeah. Is there and then I guess we kinda already talked about a little bit of the tricks you had. Are there any other tricks? I think is it something you have something I want that is the
That's the
teleport card?
airdrop card.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Any other
So
tricks?
I mean, moment of consideration is a fantastic command card I found with this
Mhm.
list. Normally, you are surprising and shocking an opponent with the amount of firepower you're putting out turn one. You're
Yeah.
putting them in a point where they're panicking a little bit because they just took way more than they were expecting from a 9 activation list. You then follow that up with standbys on both Stormtroopers and the Shore Trooper, who has a range 3, and you're talking about potentially doubling the amount of dice you're throwing turn 2.
Yeah.
It's not bad when it works, and it forces them to shoot your Stormtroopers to knock off those standbys, so your scouts remain unperturbed to get a second full load of dice on turn 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the scouts are extremely deadly in this list, especially with that Imperial March getting
Mhm.
those back-to-back speed 3s, and then
Now, they're scouts, they're not gonna live, right?
yeah, oh, yeah, a
Um,
glass cannon, the
yeah,
pure definition of the word, but if you can make them last, like you're saying, as long as you can.
the critical value is really key to the scouts without having surge to hit. You find a surge token, and it's just a nightmare. Um,
Yeah.
but critical 2 really changes a lot of things on them.
Mm, yeah. Ugh, okay. Alright, let's talk about your command hand a little bit here. Let me pan down this.
My
Alright.
objective deck, yep.
Your objective deck, sorry. I
Okay.
what was I? Got magic on the mind or something like that? For a different topic. Uh, okay, so it looks like your primary missions you had breakthrough, intercept, and bunker assault.
Mhm,
Bunker assault makes complete sense here with all the special forces that you have. Breakthrough, I think, to me is the most interesting,
mhm.
and I'm imagining your opponents seeing this in your deck and kind of getting a little wide eyed just because you have 9 activations, and they're like, okay, I could do that. Let's shoot for that one. However, I think, most people will forget about the airdrop card, which is
Mhm.
massive. What else are people forgetting? And why are you playing Breakthrough with a 9-act list, Richard? And educate us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So first off, you're right. The airdrop card is critical for this one because normally on breakthrough you have a weak side, you have a strong side, right?
Yep.
I usually feint and pretend that there's only going to be one dark trooper on my weak side. Deploy the rest of my army on my strong side. The reality is, my weak side is my strong side because my opponent's going to deploy slightly more in order to deal with the one dark trooper unit.
Yep.
Turn 2, turn 3 at the latest, I'm dropping a second dark trooper over there. Now, what you had in that corner to deal with one dark trooper has to face 2 dark troopers. And there's not a lot that you leave to deal with one dark trooper that can deal with 2 dark troopers.
Yep.
If you go back and watch the finals against Austin, I think this is a really good example. Is a Dewback and an E-Web couldn't take out one dark trooper, let alone 2
Mm,
dark troopers when it got reinforced.
mhm.
And so not only did that score me sweep and clear points for enemy deployment, he never got to my objective. I got to his objective on turn 4 and scored it for 2 turns. The rest of my army
Wow.
just has to hold. That's
Yeah.
all it has to do. It
Yeah.
doesn't it doesn't need to win. It doesn't need to wipe the opponent. It just needs to hold my point. The flip side of that is if I want to get really aggressive, I can. With
Mhm.
Ruthless in my back pocket, I can throw a Stormtrooper speed 2, speed 3, speed 2. And suddenly, I'm on your point from my deployment edge. I can be on your point turn 1 if I really want to, dug in melee. Good luck removing a super squad dug in melee on your point turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I didn't know movement became Empire's faction identity, but here
it,
here we are.
it's I don't know if it's Empire's faction identity, but I think there's a few hidden places, hidden gems within the faction that you can really do it. I don't
Yeah.
one of the things Adam and I really started talking about when we were doing this was we wanted to highlight 2 things was 1, super squads. We got 3 of them.
Yeah.
And 2, the dark trooper kind of shenanigans that you can pull off. And it's really if you look at the primary objectives and secondary objectives, it's really geared towards those units.
Mhm.
When you're shooting a squad and you put 3 wounds through, right? You've taken assuming a typical squad with a heavy weapon, right? 5 models. 3 wounds, there's 2 left, you can clean that up with a second shot more times than not.
Yeah.
A super squad, you take 3 models, I still have 7. You do that again, I still have 4. A third
Yep.
time, I still have 1 model. So the amount
Yep.
of firepower it takes to remove these units from the board is really deceiving for the most part. And
Hmm.
in turn, especially with the aim support, they're clearing entire units with their shots, especially the shore troopers. They were absolutely amazing throughout this entire tournament, especially with that T-21 going on with them.
Yeah.
Um,
I love the Overwatch on them too, by the way, just to,
it throws
uh,
people off.
yeah, I mean, the range 3 standby well, on a super squad is just
Hmm.
massive.
There's something really fun about throwing 9 black, 4 white, critical 2 twice in a turn. And one of those has a name.
Yeah. I could see that how that would be fun for you, but I'm sure not very
Opponents
fun
don't
for
like it.
everybody else. Yeah.
The other thing too about Ruthless is uh, you just get an action for the
Yep.
cost of a model.
Yep.
Most of the time, that's a move action. Some
Mhm.
of the time, that's an aim action. Because if I kill 1 stormtrooper to get an aim, I'm either throwing 1 white die or I'm throwing 3 white dice. And one of those results in a little bit better math.
Yep.
Talking about me being a math guy and all that. So
Yeah.
there's at face value, this list doesn't have a lot going on, but when you start to dig into the individual pieces, there's a lot of layers and actually a lot of options that you can kind of flex into different scenarios. Now, don't
Mhm.
get me wrong. There are objectives that if I see, it's pretty much game over. Recover
Sure.
the research, I'm done.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got nothing on that one.
Yep.
Shifting priorities, I can play, but I don't like it. Um, I'm missing one. What am I missing?
Uh, oh, close the
Close the
pocket.
pocket.
Close the
I don't
pocket.
want close the pocket. Not a day in my
Yeah,
life. I don't play
that's
force
fair.
users.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, any other techs? I mean, your secondaries look kinda I mean,
It's what you would
nothing
expect.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, mark targets probably going on the Dark Troopers
Yep.
and
I
maybe
mean, most
one of your
people.
super squads, probably.
I usually just put on both Dark Troopers because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if one of the Dark Troopers gets low, I can just teleport them to a corner and deny points.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. God, that card is so good. Oh,
it's
that card is so
it's
good.
sneaky good, but it
It's
requires
so
you to
good.
take Moff Gideon, who's maybe a touch uh, overcosted. I don't think much, just a little bit.
He I get I get where you're coming from.
Drop
I
the
mean,
dark saber to 5 points. Come on, do it. Get
I mean, some people get it for free now. So, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. 15's a lot of points. I don't know what I'm doing
yeah,
with 10 points, but I want them.
yeah. I mean, he's a great linebacker. His command cards are fantastic in
Hmm.
Remnant, of course. But like in Ruthless is good, like you've been stating. But
Hmm.
everything else is just kind of
Yeah. The rest
he
of
ain't
the
gonna kill no one, but he ain't gonna die. So
Yeah, he's got one good chop. I mean, he's cleanup duty, right? So
yeah,
if my super
mhm,
squad steal 4 wounds and leave 1 model alive, a Gideon surging to crit with tactical and a free up observation and pierce 1 is
mhm,
probably cleaning up that squad. He did that enough times to kind of be worth his cost throughout the game. Dark Saber on Diet My Hand, where you've got your 3 aims that you're going in, and you're gonna find 5 and pierce 1. That can do some work. Um, I don't think he's ever the star of the show, but he
mhm.
supports the army enough that I'm happy he's in the list.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, moving on here. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. So I was kind of looking through your tournament,
Hmm.
um, just kind of how you did and everything, and you went 5-1 day one, and then obviously you went 3-0 the next day. Were there any lists that you felt like gave you some trouble? I know you did take a loss day one, and I do want to
That's
talk
the
about
one.
that. Uh, so I guess we'll just get right into it then. You played
Sure,
Dashes, who ended
sure
up
did.
winning, or quote unquote, he went
The
6
round
and 0 day
robin.
one.
Yep.
Yeah, winning the round robin. You came in second. He beat you in the round
Hmm.
robin,
Sure did.
and then you end up playing him
I
round one of the cut. So what kind of lists were giving you trouble? What kind of lists will you see across the table and you're like, oh, I don't. play this. Obviously, we went through your mission, so kind of talk about your games with dashes, and then also, were there any other lists that gave you more trouble besides his what do you call
Yeah.
him? His Yoda list? I think it was what it
Yep.
was.
Yoda Padme, triple commandos, triple medic arcs,
Yep,
two naked clone trooper infantry, and then
yep. Ahsoka, Clone
Ahsoka
Trooper
clone trooper
Infantry,
infantry. And
arcs
then
with medics,
yep,
Yoda,
push
Padme.
mind
Yep,
tricks, burst of speed on Yoda.
yep.
Just a nightmare.
11
Yeah,
acts. Yeah, just
he's
gnarly.
he's an amazing player,
Hmm.
first and foremost. I, I have been trying to get a win against that man for 3 years, and I have failed at every opportunity up until now.
Mm.
Um, there are certain players that are so calculating. They can look at your list and they understand what you want to do, just like when you look at their list and you know what they want to do.
Yeah.
He was the first person who did not give me a shot turn one, and I did not appreciate that. Yeah, our game one was really close. It was 12-11 in his favor. I did
Mm,
not push a bunker point as fast as I could. I was killing models left, right, and center.
sure.
That part was fine.
Hmm.
Um, if you look at the kill points from our game, looks pretty good. Uh, but the reality was he pushed one of my bunker points and was able to explode it. I was a turn behind because I needed to push a little bit harder the turn prior, and instead I went for trying to kill models off the point instead of just double moving onto the point.
Hmm.
And sometimes commandos just don't die.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
reality.
Yes, I do know
Um,
that.
but yeah, no, his list is abysmal for me to play against. He's got that range 4 Pierce. He's got a lot of dice to answer a lot of my dice. He has medics to kind of repair that back. So
Hmm. Hmm.
it's a real nightmare. I think the reality is, and I have no problem admitting this, I lucked out with the dice gods. Praise be to them, because I should have lost the quarterfinal game against him. Um,
You guys
Realistically,
ran it back everything. You played bunker and sweep
we
and clear again.
sure did.
I mean, just re-racked it right there. So
Hmm.
that's amazing.
Yeah, we were both laughing at it, and it's so funny because when we got the pairings going into the day, everyone's coming into the hall. I'm bemoaning the fact that I'm playing Dash. Dash comes in and he's like, "I'm coming for you, round two." I put in a formal request to Jordan for repairings. I was denied. Um, it was a good time, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the reality is the game played out very similarly. Him and I had sat down and talked about what I did wrong after game number
Mm,
one. So
mhm.
I made some corrections going into game number two. Now, I
Yeah.
also made some horrific mistakes, and that was a game of me being slivers outside of POIs that I could have easily been within, and just in the heat of the moment, not thinking through and going a little too fast. So,
Sure.
to all your listeners, slow down your play. It is critical sometimes.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
But yeah, the reality is the game came down to a single dice roll
Mm.
where Yoda, in my deployment zone for scoring sweep and clear enemy territory, was in melee with a 3 health stormtrooper squad, contesting my bunker that had 2 wounds on it already. So killing the stormtrooper squad guaranteed he secures it. Finds all 4 pieces of paint. All I need to do is blank a single red defense die, and he has won the game. Instead, I block all 4, live on 1 health, with a face up order, so I can just hang out there until the end of the round where I disengage, move on to the point.
Yeah, yeah.
So I deny him 2 points for sweeping clear, 3 points for blowing up my bunker, and I end up scoring my bunker. So it's a 6 VP swing.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Then, to
Wow.
add insult to injury, Padme found 3 hits into a single health scout, who dodged one, blocked the other 2, denying a different sweep and clear option, who then moved into melee with Padme and were also safe the rest of the round, allowing me to score his bunker. So it
Uh,
was saying it was incredible luck does not do justice to the incredible luck.
mhm,
Realistically, if we roll that back, the law of
mhm.
averages says I lose that game probably 90% of the time,
Sure.
if not higher.
Yeah.
I just found, the secret sauce in the risk dice throw that time. I don't know. I got
The
nothing.
law of averages were in your favor that game.
Yeah, the bell curve was definitely pushing for me on that one. It was a fantastic game. It's
Yeah.
always a fantastic time playing him. He is
Mhm.
so thoughtful about every action.
That's great.
It
Yeah.
was a good game. I look forward to the next one. I finally got the monkey off my shoulder. 3 years hunting a win against him. So
I love I both loathe and love games like that because you both know that you both played the game the best you could. There's
hmm
probably nothing else that he or you could have done, and literally just came down to statistics at that
yep,
point, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, in
hundred
the
percent.
end, we say this is a dice game, and sure enough,
The
um,
dice are gonna make it a dice game. That's for sure.
kind of going through the rest of your games, it looks like you played either. Okay, you did play one game of Intercept. I mean, you were playing a
Yep.
lot of Bunker, and then a couple
I played a
games
ton of
of.
bunker.
You played a lot of Bunker, um, and then a couple games of Breakthrough.
hmm
Besides your game with Dashes, was there any other? And maybe your game with Austin, was there any other memorable moments? Any other lists that kind of gave you some trouble or objectives? Maybe it seems like you got all the objectives that you wanted.
hmm
So,
Yeah, I would say the semifinal in the cut to the top eight against Rory.
mhm,
Rory is a relative local of mine. He's a North Carolinian as well, down in the Charlotte area. Um, he's an incredible player. He is up and coming within the Legion scene, but he is performing extraordinarily well at every tournament he's going to.
yeah.
He knew what I was going to be doing, and I got to be honest with you, he outplayed me at every single opportunity in that game.
Mm,
He had the perfect command card counters to me. Great example would be I played Moment of Consideration turn two. He knew I was going to do that and played Bosk's 2-pip and immediately removed two of my standby tokens. Um,
yep,
Absolutely brilliant.
yep,
He tied me up in a ton of different places. He played a brilliant game.
yeah,
That was another one where I picked up a little bit of dice luck here and there.
mhm,
And then, going back to that whole rushing scenario,
mhm.
we were we were done with that game in I think it was less than 85 minutes, and we played all 5 rounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
I we talked about this afterwards because I want to see North Carolinians succeed in every opportunity.
Yeah.
We're trying to put our state on the map for top quality Legion players. So we we, we talked about it, and about maybe slowing down a little bit, taking a few more seconds to think through. I think if he had been able to double move onto a point instead of taking some standbys to prevent me from a long shot play,
Mhm.
he could have forced us to kill points. Now it was still 513 to 500 kill points, so it does swing in
Bloody.
my yeah, very bloody. It swings in my favor, but I think he has a really good shot then if he does a few little things different. But he
Yeah,
he played an extraordinary game. I'm really excited to see where he's going to go in the next couple of years.
yeah.
He's younger compared to some of the rest of us that are in the
Mm,
scene. So I think
that's
he's
good.
got a chance to really explode out there and make a name for himself. So
Good deal. Awesome. Yeah, I love hearing about all your games and everything. That sounds like it was a great time. Um, so we've talked about a lot of your games here,
mhm.
and everything fell into place. The dice gods were on your side. Are there any changes to your list that you would make after going? Not. I mean, you went undefeated the in the cut,
Mhm.
and you still won. Technically not undefeated. Are
Not
there any
undefeated.
changes to get that one game back?
Yeah. What? Excuse me. One of the big changes I would have made was removing pinned to down for push.
Mm,
I thought I was going to need to be getting orders to Dark Troopers more than I was. Oftentimes, Dark Troopers were on the other side of the field doing their own thing, and that card was basically dead weight in my hand.
mhm,
Push would have given me some additional ruthless options in the
mhm.
games, a little bit more of that flexibility we were talking about earlier. So that's definitely one of the primary changes I would make.
Okay. So
Um,
it sounds like you weren't really issuing orders 2 Dark Troopers at all, really. They were just kind of in your bag twice, but
Yeah,
and then all
maybe an
your orders
entourage.
were yeah, entourage,
That's
and
about
then
it.
but most of your orders you're giving out were to your either your scouts or your super squads?
And
Is
neither
that
my
how I'm
scouts, I
understanding?
was issuing orders primarily to my super squads because
2
Gideon
super
was hanging
squads.
around them. Because they're
Yeah.
only Courage 1 still, even though, they rally on Indomitable. But if
Mhm.
Gideon's not around, you can panic them and suddenly I'm up a creek a little bit. So
Yeah.
instead, having Gideon with Courage 3 hanging out around them, that takes a lot of that away. Even though
Okay.
you lose out on the Remnant buff, and like Remnant in itself is a very interesting give and take of like being in the Courage bubble, but being outside of the Courage bubble in order to get your free tokens. And then
Yeah.
you kind of have to weave in and out of that because you also can't get orders unless you're inside the Courage bubble.
Mhm.
So it took a little bit of time to figure out how to weave in and out like that. I think I even still have a little bit more to learn
Sure.
about how to do it. I guess properly would be the right way to say it, but
Yeah.
um, it's challenging. But definitely switching pin down to push, I think would top my charts of changes I'd made. Um,
Interesting.
Other than that, I was very happy with how the list played mechanically overall. Like I said, between Adam and I testing this list over the last 3 months, we've gone through 24 variants. I know his variant he prefers drops a Dark Trooper for 2 Duggan E-Webs. Um, it's not a bad option. It's just not
Mhm.
my personal playstyle.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of upgrades and units, I mean, this is just built to be an Alpha Strike gambling list with how many dice you're throwing.
Yeah.
Uh,
For sure.
I don't know if I would necessarily change anything in that too much because then it just throws off all the math.
Yeah.
The only other units, well, now with the generics coming out, I could get generic agent, generic officer in there.
Mhm.
But other than that, like the only other thing I could fit into this list would be another Dark Trooper, speeder bikes, or E-Webs. I
Mhm.
don't really want any of that for the way that I'm playing the game.
Yeah, it kinda goes against your the whole what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah,
It's like the very niche thing you're trying to accomplish in the list, and those 3 units don't really add to what you're trying to do.
exactly. Exactly.
Um, so overall, the tournament Crucible, it was AMG uh, GT, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so the new customizable commanders, even though their upgrades are out, they're not print and play yet, so they weren't allowed in the
Well,
tournament.
Jordan told us if you had an official model, the official card, put together and painted, you are allowed to because Europe's had them for a few weeks.
Sure. Okay.
So
Okay.
if by some strange miracle you decided to get yours from overseas, it showed up and you assembled and painted it, you were allowed to play it. That being
Okay.
said, there wasn't a single one there. To
Okay.
the best of my knowledge.
That's fair. So barring the extreme niche case, what was your overall takeaways from the tournament? Kind of going through the faction breakdown.
Hmm.
15 droids, 14 guard, 9 rebels, which I think is
Hmm.
kind of low, 8 empire, and 5 shadow collective. Did you see any new kind of evolving metas? Did you see kind of the same olds? Have there's been a change up or what? Give us the beat on. This is a big 50-player tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of what's your takeaways from this so far?
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting things going on. One of the things I'll say is through most of the factions, right? The Shadow Collective, the Rebel, Empire, and CIS, there was a lot of diversity on the field. Now I don't want to disparage the clones in any way, shape, or form, but a lot of the highest performing clone lists looked very similar. It was Yoda, it was 3 commandos, a handful of arcs usually, and then clone infantry to kind of fill, right? Um, there was actually a weird amount of Yoda Padme. I played against 2 different lists that were Yoda Padme. I guess 3 if you count the twice that I played Dash, but um,
So you're
it
saying
was out there.
Ahsoka's not the top of the meta in the clones right now. I'm
I
alone in that.
I
Is that
haven't.
just in my head?
She's in a lot of squads. I'll tell you that for that free dodge.
Well,
But Commander Ahsoka, I'm not
yeah,
seeing
that's fair.
a
That's
ton.
fair.
I didn't see a ton of at Crucible. I'm
Hmm.
seeing a decent amount of Commander Ahsoka in kind of local chatter and things of that nature. But it's one of those things that I went on a different show's podcast a while ago at this point, and I argued that local metas form and are distinct from other local metas. And so when you get a big GT that comes together, you
Hmm.
have a lot of diverse opinions that are showing up there.
Oh yeah.
I think our top 8 really shows that off well, except for the Republic list that looked very similar. But we had 2 Empire, 2 Rebels, 2 CIS, and 2 Republic.
Oh, perfect.
That's about as
Perfect
perfect
split.
balance. Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
as perfect
That's
as you can
amazing
get.
split.
9 was a Rebel, and then 10 was Shadow Collective. So,
Yeah. I mean,
it,
I think that's arguably perfect game balance
mhm.
almost.
And
So
if you look at the 2 Rebel lists, they're very different. If you look at the 2 Empire lists, they're incredibly different.
yeah.
Even the 2 CIS lists have some pretty significant differences in them. One was Dooku, double Aqua, triple Stab. The other was Kalani, Bosk, Grievous, Ventress, double Aqua. So, there's
Yeah.
quite a bit of difference between those 2 lists.
Besides the clones. Besides the clones.
Yeah, and then clones, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Bushfax was the other top 8 player.
He was, and he had Yoda, Rex, Bad Batch,
Yep,
uh,
triple
Commandos,
commandos.
Triple Commandos,
One of them's
Delta.
Delta.
Yeah. 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 And again, I mean, clones, they're all clones. You can't get that different. Come on, AMG. We need our
Listen,
marksman. We need
marksmen
it.
are coming around the corner. We've got
We
those
need it.
generic Jedi that got spoiled, or I
Oh,
guess it's not spoiled. They put out articles, but
correct. Hmm.
um, incredibly exciting. I might break my I don't play Force users for these.
Ooh.
Uh, let me just tell you, I've put together a list that is all 4 of them together, and it still hits 11 activations.
God. Oh,
Um,
I can't wait.
yeah,
Can't
of
wait for the next
course,
Script to Block podcast.
playing Jedi Guardians because that's the correct choice in your ARC Troopers. Um,
It is. It is. It is. It
but
so
I'm
is.
getting so much flack for that opinion, and I'm here for it. It gives me
I'm
strength.
I am slowly trying to pry the clone medics out of my list, and it pains me every time because it's
Listen,
like it's at 2 points goes so
hmm
far in a clone
it can,
list.
it absolutely can. And
So
the thing is, I just want to put 7 lightsaber wielders on the table.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
Although there is a version of the list that puts 8 because you drop one of the Jedi generals for Anakin Ahsoka. Now,
You
do
had
you
me.
have a lot going on? No. Can you also do that a version of that list that's 5 copies of Force Push? Also, yes. Is it good? I don't know. I haven't put it on the table.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
fact that you can move a unit from where it started to beyond range 3 is pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's I don't even have words for that. That's pretty funny. That's expensive.
Is
It's
it good?
funny.
No. Is it something I would bring as a meme to a Thursday night? Probably.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Well, very good, very good. Yes, it seems like the game is in a very good place right now, and it's only about to get better.
Yes.
I think with the new
There's
customizable commanders
so
and
much coming
everything
out.
coming out.
Graves on a
Um,
wheel bike.
yeah,
Just
we've kind of talked about it briefly already.
mhm.
What are you most excited for, either coming out here in the next couple months or coming out next year? I'm almost about to start playing droids because the wheel bike models look incredible.
Yeah,
So,
they look
what are you looking forward
gorgeous.
to?
I'm really excited for High Command. I really
Mm,
love the middle management style of Empire, and I'm about to get 3 heroes that identify with the middle management style of Empire. So
yeah.
I'm really
Yes.
excited
Yes.
about that. I'm Now that Crucible's done, I'm finally getting a chance to put the generics on the table and start messing around with them. I have a 16 activation Empire list that I think is gonna rock the world. You want to see it? I'll share it with your listeners.
I would love to see this. Yes, I would love to.
Yeah, let's just why not? We're here. We're having fun.
We're doing it live. Let's go.
We're doing it live.
The
So
next
yeah, It's a Director Krennic with improvised orders and strict orders, Imperial Officer with Academy trained and command and control uplink, Agent
Yeah.
Callus with tenacity, Imperial Agent with platoon commander, tenacity, the riot baton, and combat armor, 3 shores with the T-21B, 3 mortars, 2 riots with the KXs, a death trooper with the DT F-16, and 3 naked scouts. And what if I told you the first 2 turns of the game, you can put out 9 orders?
Oh, oh, that's that's so disgusting. Oh my god, I know so many people that would love this list because I know there's a big niche, um, in our community specifically
Hmm.
that loves middle management lists like this, and now that Callus is that kind of cheap beat stick,
Hmm.
not a lightsaber guy, as well as now the Imperial Agent kind of being the same thing, to at least combat the, Jedis,
Hmm.
and I know plenty of people are wanting to put riots on the board because they look so good. This is just yeah.
I'm taking it to a local tournament on the Saturday after this recording, so I'll
Okay.
let you know how it does.
Please do. I am very curious about this. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, 16 acts. I wouldn't
Hmm.
even know what to do.
And it's so layered too. There, because you've got your range 3 threats, your range 4 threats, your range 2 threats, your melee threats, support
Yeah.
to back it up. You're
Yeah,
basically two. What is it? 2 of your command cards are cutting 1 pips with command and control uplink.
and it seems so light because there's not a lot of upgrades, but and then you look and it's 16 units. So
Yeah, there's a lot of
it's
meat.
just yeah, it's just a lot of bodies.
And what do I care if you take
Wow.
a unit? I got 15 more.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm punching
Oh my
you turn 1
gosh.
with range 4 units. Can
Mhm.
you say the same thing?
This feels so much like the identity that they wanted. Like, okay, you move in with the range 4, you plink with the range 4, and then you
Hmm.
send in the infantry, all while the middle management guys are in the backfield buffing units, directing the traffic, telling them what to go. This is what I imagine the
I
rebels
mean,
were fighting against, and
mhm.
like this is the empire. This is how it was actually fought. Like this feels amazing. This feels great.
Well, the thing is too, like AMG during their summer interviews kind of came out and told the community, "Hey, you haven't found everything,
Hmm.
right? We think you need to look at double stuff squads." I took a look at double stuff squads. Turns out they're pretty good. They said, "Hey, there's something with middle management going on." I'm taking a look at middle management. I'll let you know if there's something going on. At one point they had mentioned Cody. We think that Cody should see more gameplay.
Yeah.
That turned out really well at Rocky Top.
Yep.
So like,
Yep. Yep.
there's not to like. I don't want to sound like I'm overpraising, but like there's something there within the game development that the players fall into echo chambers and don't always see. And so sometimes it just takes that one voice saying like, "Hey, try something new,"
Hmm.
and it can pop off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't. I'm on my anti-force user rant. I always am. Take force push out of the game. I hate it.
Yeah.
Uh, but at the end of the day, like you can win without force push. You can win without your lightsaber user. There's
Mhm.
options out there.
Mhm.
You just need to, and repetition is always the king of these types of games. Knowing how to turn and address and kind of flex into different options while you're playing in order to combat what's across the table for me.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. And what I always tell new players is play what you like. Find a
absolutely.
character, play what you like. There's something to build around always. I mean, I'm a huge Ahsoka guy. I love
Hmm.
Ahsoka. I refuse to play her in the upgrade because I like to play her as Commander Ahsoka, and I like to play her and Rex. And I've been playing 501st, and I've been loving it. I've been having a great time.
Good.
I've been winning and losing. There's play what you like first, and then you can
Yes.
build towards the meta if you want to do that. I mean, there's always an option.
Yeah. If you're
Um,
not having fun in the game, why are you playing? You know?
yes,
And
100%.
for some people, winning is the only fun that they get, and that's
Fair.
okay.
Yeah.
But if you just want to play your favorite character and see it on the table, don't let anyone stop you from doing that.
Yep.
Even if they're behind the curve, who cares? Play
Yep.
it, enjoy it, have fun.
Yep. Yeah, because you may discover something no one else knows. Well, and if you need any other list building tips, tricks, learning how to play the game, get better at the game, make sure to check out the Crit to Block podcast with host Richard Lavery to learn all of his tips and tricks, and he will teach you everything you need to know about the game. Richard, is there anything else you would like to plug as we're winding down this interview?
I mean, if you want to watch us, put those tips and tricks into action, check out our YouTube channel and our battle reports that we got on there. Um, right now we're getting ready to release a series that is, kind of the starter box plus a few upgrades to get to that 1,000 points. So, you know, it's great. Well, the intention is that it's going to be great for new players to show them what they can buy that is available right now to take them
Mhm.
from a starter box up to 1,000 points and still have a pretty viable army. So,
Fantastic. Yeah, the link will be in the description below. Please go check them out. They just did a series on breaking down all of the objectives in the game, how to play them, what list works, and then pairing lists that work well
mhm.
with those specific POIs. I definitely just got done listening to all of them and learned a lot. I learned that Rich and I have very similar play styles, so I'm going to be stealing a
Nice.
lot of what he does
Do
because
it.
I like to push W as well and just run at people. And now I can be good at it. So again, please check out the Crit the Block podcast. Richard, thank you for coming on the show again and teaching us how to go X and one, X and O, excuse me, X and O, and winning the tournament. And guys, just remember X and O is a game away.